Okay, so if you've been following along here, every Friday I have been talking about heroic icons in this channel. So today we are stepping onto the bridge of the USS Enterprise, NCC 1701. And we're going to talk about a man who defined what a leader looks like for over 60 years. I am talking about the iconic hero, Captain James Tiberius Kirk from Star Trek. Now, I know what you're thinking. Kirk is a guy who overacts and rips off his shirt, right? Well, I mean, that's the meme. It really is. But the icon is something much deeper. Kirk isn't just a space explorer, he's the ultimate representation of the humanist hero. He's the guy who proves that being human, with all of our flaws, our tempers, and our irrational hope, is actually our greatest superpower. Today, we're going to be breaking down the Kirk philosophy. We're going to look at why he's a hero, specific ideals that he lived by, and how that you can use that Kirk energy to navigate the chaos of 2026 and beyond. But before we deep dive, with Warp Drive engaged, do me a huge favor. Please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel on your way in. It tells the algorithm that these kind of deep dives, this deep dive content really does matter, and it's the best way to help the channel grow. You guys are the fuel in the warp core, the dilithium crystals. I couldn't do this without you, and I really appreciate all the help you can get, or that you can give me on that. All right, let's engage. I want to start with the moment that defines Kirk's entire soul, the Kobayashi Maru. Now, for those of you who are not nerds like myself, it's a training simulation designed to be impossible. You're a captain. You get a distress call. No matter what you do, your ship is destroyed and your crew dies. It's designed to be a test of character and how you handle certain death. Every other cadet who did this test over the years of Starfleet took the loss. James Kirk? Okay, sorry, I'm going to nerd out here. This is awesome. He went into the computer and reprogrammed the simulation. He changed the conditions of the test so he could win it. He even got an accommodation. He could have gotten kicked out for cheating, but he got accommodation for original thinking. Now, why is this heroic, though? Because Kirk fundamentally refuses to believe in the no-win scenario. In our daily lives, we're constantly told that's just how it is, or you have to accept these limitations. Kirk's ideal tells us that the game is rigged. You don't just play better, you got to change the game. And the takeaway on this is living like Kirk means that the impossible obstacles in your life, your debt, your career path, your personal ruts, and asking, what rule am I following that I don't actually have to follow? It's about radical creativity in the face of despair. What it was a meme I read a couple of years ago. This gentleman was he was at his counselor's office. He was lost. He's just like everything, and the guy's like the counselor's like, he's not taking that answer at all. He's like, really, give me something here. He's like, the dishwasher, just piling it in, putting things in the dishwasher. It's like the counselor's like, well, run it twice. Run it 3 times. The guy's like, well, you're not supposed to do that. The counselor looked at him like, By whose rules do you not run the dishwasher twice? What? So guess what? The guy went home, stacked the dishes in the dishwasher any way he felt like it or, had the energy for, ran that sucker twice, ran it 3 times. Guess what? Dishes came clean. Problem solved. What rule are you following right now that you don't have to, that you made up for yourself? You got to get creative. When the rules are stacked against you, make up new rules. Change the rules. Change the game. When you watch the original series, now I realize the original series is, to be honest, I'm a Gen X. I saw some of the original series. I saw the original series movies. My series, honestly, was Star Trek Next Generation. Picard was my captain. But I've watched enough of James T. Kirk to really understand the character and appreciate him. So when you watch the original series, the dynamic is always the same. You have Spock, who is pure, cold logic. You have Dr. McCoy, who's pure, fiery emotion. They are two halves of the human brain that argue with each other at all times. Captain Kirk, he sits in the middle. A lot of people think that being a leader means being a robot, cold, calculating, distant. Or they think it's about being a vibe leader who follows their gut blindly. Sorry, got the hiccups. So in this instance, though, Kirk shows us that a true hero is the integrator. He listens to the data from Spock. He listens to the humanity, Bones. And then he makes a decision that honors both. In 2026, we are polarized. We're told to be all facts or all feelings. Kirk teaches us a third way, and that is the only way forward. He uses logic to find the path. He uses his passion to walk it. He wasn't afraid to cry when he lost a friend. Everybody's seen Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, knows this one. And he wasn't afraid to outthink a supercomputer when the chips were down. There's a famous speech that Kirk gives where he says this: Risk is our business. That's what this starship is all about. That's why we're all aboard her. I remember Q had said this to Picard. The galaxy offers so many wonders, wondrous things beyond the eye. But it's not safe out here, and it's not for the timid. If you can't handle a bloody nose, turn your butt around and go home. More or less, that's what he tells Picard. We live in an age of safety. We want everything guaranteed, insured, predictable. But Kirk's heroism is rooted in the idea that nothing great happens without vulnerability. Every time they entered a new star system, they were risking everything. Kirk's ideal of radical curiosity means choosing the unknown over the comfortable. How many of us are staying in orbit because we're afraid of what's on the planet's surface? Kirk's life tells us the final frontier isn't just space. It's the edge of your comfort zone. If you aren't risking something, your ego, your time, your reputation, for something you believe in, then are you really in command of your own life? The last thing I want to touch on here is about his command. Kirk was never a manager. He didn't sit in an office sending emails while his crew did all the work. He was the first one in the landing party. He was the last one out. He was taking hits. Honestly, it's probably because of him that the Starfleet regulations changed that while the senior commanding officer does not beam down with the away team. He is probably the reason for that particular protocol. But regardless, he felt the weight of every person on that ship. When a red shirt died, we know the joke, it wasn't a statistic to him, though. It was a failure he took to heart. That is the ideal of moral accountability. If you want to be a hero in your family or your workplace, you have to be the one willing to bleed first. You have to be the one who takes the blame when things go wrong and gives the credit when something goes right. That's the burden of the captain's chair. And it is a burden that Captain Kirk wore with honor. So, James T. Kirk. He wasn't perfect. He was impulsive. He was sometimes arrogant. And he definitely broke a few regulations. But that's why we love him. He's the icon of what we could be if we stopped being afraid of our own humanity. He reminds us that the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's something we build with our bare hands, our sharp wits, and our friends by our side. Kirk was never alone when he did anything. If you found value in this look at Captain Kirk, please do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss any more of these deep dives. And if you want to support my continuing mission just a little bit more, please do head over to buymeacoffee.com/perspectives of Jerry. The link is in the description. And help me out with that. Every little bit helps me keep this ship flying and the content coming your way. So, I want you to go out there today. I want you to find a no-win scenario, and I want you to find a way to win it anyways. Thank you for being here for Perspectives of Jerry. I always appreciate it. I will see you in the next one. Warp engines to full. Third star to the left, and on till morning. Jerry, out.